Good morning, dear students. Today we'll have lesson number 2, and we'll talk about personal computers or a typical PC. So the PC or personal computer, it consists of 3 main parts. The first one is monitor, as you see in the screen, and the second one is processor, and the third one is keyboard. So they are considered to be 3 main parts of PC. As you know, the PC, it has many devices which are connected to it, and they are called, let's say, additional parts. For example, let's say mouse, speakers, webcam, printer, scanner, as you see in the picture, hard disk or CD disks. They can be an example of additional devices. And we shouldn't forget that they play these devices, just you see on screen, they play additional role. For example, let's say speaker, it helps to listen to the sounds, yeah, which are processed by the PC. Or let's say a flash memory card, they just use it to store the information. And as you see, they have some functions, and these devices, they have their own role. So a typical computer or PC, it consists of 2 main parts. The first one is called hardware, and the second one is called software. So what's hardware, these students? Hardware, it's an electronic and mechanical part of the computer. Let's say the devices, they can be considered as hardware because we can they are let's say built electronically, and we can touch or we can see them physically, and that's why they're called hardware. And the second type of the uh, let's say part of the PC, it is software. And software is a set of programs, let's say everything that are covered in the memory of the PC, like files, documents, the items that we cannot touch or let's say physically see, and they're called software. Both of them have their own functions, and mostly software is used to control the hardware. So dear students, we'll talk about now basic sections of hardware. So the hardware, it consists of 3 main sections, and the first one is CPU. CPU stands for Central Processing Unit, and it is the heart of the PC, and it processes data and coordinates activities of other units. So this is the main part of the hardware. Let's say the main device the main device which are considered to be hardware is CPU. The next one is the main memory, and the main memory is situated inside of the CPU, and it holds the instructions in data. The main memory, it consists of 2 sections, RAM and ROM. And the third section of the hardware is peripherals. And peripherals, they are the physical units attached to the computer. They can be, let's say, a mouse, keyboard, or a printer, scanner. They are physically attached with the help of cables, and that's why they're called peripherals. So now we'll talk about peripherals themselves itself. So peripherals are divided into 3 parts. They are input devices, storage devices, and output devices. So input devices, let's see them. As you see in the screen, input devices, they are used to store data or enter data to the PC. and they can be touch screen, joystick, keyboard, mouse, scanner, microphone, and etc. Why do we call them input devices? Because they are used to enter data or information to our computer. That's why we call them input devices. Next, we have storage devices. So what are they? Storage devices, they're mainly used to keep or store the information. For example, memory cards, hard disk drives, flash memory cards, floppy disk, optical disks. They store the information and they play the role of storage. That's why we call them storage devices. So the third type of the devices, they are output devices. So they can be printer, monitor, plotter, headphone, projector, video card, and etc. Why do we call them output devices? Because they are used to take out the information from our PC. And for example, let's take printer. We have, for example, we may have this information on our PC and we want to just print the information. By printing, we just take the information from our computer, and that's why generally these types of devices, they're called output devices. And I should mention about ports. So what are they? Ports are small parts of processor which we can plug other devices. They are mainly located at the just back of the PC, and they use it to connect, as I said, connect other devices like mouse, keyboard, scanners, printers to the PC itself. And they also have their own role on just on processing the PC. Now we'll talk about functions of a PC. So there are mainly 4 functions of a PC, and they are connected to each other. So the first one is data, let's say input. So in input process or function, data is entered with the keyboard or webcam. For example, we'd like to make a document, and let's say we create the document and then we enter some kind of information on it, and this process is called input. Or the second one is processing. So what's processing? In this function, in this process, the data is manipulated according to the program instruction, which means that we can edit, change the document, program, everything. And if we make changes or edit it, and this process is called processing. Mainly the documents, files, they are processed, and this let's say process is called processing. So after input, we may make some changes or we may add something, and shortly we call this process processing. And next we have storage. So in this process we keep data and programs in memory of a computer. So after making some changes, we will store them, I mean the information in the memory, and this process is called storage. Dear students, do you know what we'll do after storing the information? We will do an output, which means that we will take the information out of our PC. So in this process, we can see the result on the screen or in printed form. So this process is called output. Let's imagine we are just seeing or doing something on our PC, and we see what we are doing on monitor, and this process is called output. Or if we want we want to just print something like to get a hard copy, and this process is also called output. So dear students, don't forget that the computer has main 4 functions. It begins from input and ends with output. So the processes, they are done step by step. And don't forget this, let's say their turn, okay? And thank you for your attention, dear students. And don't forget to do the tasks given on the assignment. Thank you for your attention, guys.